Something doesn't add up. For decades, America was gripped by a chilling belief that secret satanic cults were operating in the shadows, hidden beneath ordinary life. Parents feared them. Churches warned about them. Investigators searched for them. Newspapers amplified the alarm. Yet the deeper researchers looked, the more unsettling the mystery became. What if the most influential satanic conspiracy in American history was never the cults themselves? What if an invisible force far more powerful was shaping the story from behind the scenes? In this investigation, we trace a haunting path from the witch scares of colonial America to the rise of occult fascination to the explosive satanic panic that convinced millions that a hidden network was lurking among them. Along the way, we uncover forgotten events, controversial claims, psychological manipulation, and a disturbing question that remains unanswered even today. Because sometimes the darkest secret is not what was hidden, but why so many people were desperate to believe it. Join Nexus of Secrets as we descend into one of America's most unsettling mysteries. Chapter 1. The Seed. What if the story of satanic cults in America did not begin with cults at all? What if it began with something far more dangerous? Fear. For centuries, human civilization has been haunted by the belief that hidden groups gather in secret, practicing forbidden rituals beyond the reach of ordinary society. Across medieval Europe, stories spread of shadowy gatherings held under the cover of darkness. Villagers whispered about mysterious ceremonies. Religious authorities warned of hidden enemies working against society from within. According to historian Norman Cohn in his landmark book, Europe's Inner Demons, many of these fears became deeply embedded in Western culture, long before modern America even existed. The image of secret devil worshippers lurking in the shadows became one of the most powerful fears ever created. When European settlers crossed the Atlantic and established communities in North America, they brought those fears with them. The most famous example emerged in 1692, Salem. Even today, the name sends a chill down the spine. In the quiet Puritan settlement of Massachusetts, accusations of witchcraft spread like wildfire. Neighbors accused neighbors. Families turned against one another. Strange behavior, unexplained illnesses, and bizarre rumors were suddenly interpreted as evidence of dark supernatural forces. The result was one of the most infamous mass panics in American history. But Salem was not merely a historical tragedy. It planted a psychological seed, a seed that would continue growing beneath the surface of American society for centuries. As America entered the 20th century, the nation changed dramatically. Cities expanded, technology advanced, traditional values faced increasing challenges. During times of uncertainty, people often searched for hidden explanations behind social change. Then something unusual happened. Popular culture became fascinated with darkness itself. Occult books appeared in bookstores. Horror films featuring demonic themes became box office successes. Television programs explored mysterious rituals and supernatural forces. What had once existed only in folklore was now entering mainstream entertainment. The turning point came in 1966. A man named Anton LaVey announced the creation of the Church of Satan in San Francisco. 3 years later, he published the Satanic Bible. Suddenly, what had once been distant mythology appeared frighteningly real to many Americans. Newspapers published alarming headlines. Religious leaders issued warnings. Public curiosity exploded. Yet beneath the controversy, another question was emerging. Were these merely provocative beliefs designed to shock society? Or was something darker beginning to move beneath the surface? Few people realized it at the time, but the fear that had begun centuries earlier was about to return, and this time, it would consume an entire nation. Chapter 2. The Panic. By the late 1970s, America was entering a period of deep social anxiety. Crime rates were rising in many major cities. Traditional institutions were losing public trust. The Cold War continued to cast a shadow over everyday life. Across the country, a growing sense of uncertainty was beginning to take hold. It was within this atmosphere that one publication would ignite a national controversy. In 1980, Michelle Remembers was released by psychiatrist Lawrence Pasder and his patient, Michelle Smith. The book claimed to document recovered memories of horrific ritual abuse allegedly linked to satanic practices. Its contents shocked readers and quickly attracted widespread media attention. Television programs discussed the allegations. Talk shows debated them, religious organizations cited them as evidence of a hidden threat. For many Americans, the possibility of secret ritual networks operating unnoticed within society no longer seemed impossible. What followed became known as the Satanic Panic. According to sociologists and historians, including Jeffrey Victor in Satanic Panic, the creation of a contemporary legend, this period evolved into one of the largest moral panics in modern American history. Reports of alleged ritual activity began appearing across the nation. Investigators received claims involving secret ceremonies, coded symbols, underground organizations, and hidden abuse. Communities that had never experienced anything unusual suddenly found themselves gripped by suspicion. One of the most famous examples emerged in California. The McMartin preschool case became a national sensation. Extraordinary allegations triggered years of investigation, attracting intense media coverage and public scrutiny. Yet despite the scale of the inquiry, authorities failed to uncover evidence supporting the broader conspiracy theories that had captured public imagination. Nevertheless, the fear persisted. Rumors traveled faster than conclusions. Speculation proved more compelling than uncertainty. Every unexplained event seemed capable of fitting into a larger narrative. As newspapers, television networks, and public discussions amplified these concerns, a feedback loop emerged. Suspicion generated headlines, and headlines generated even greater suspicion. What made the phenomenon remarkable was not merely the accusations themselves. It was the speed with which ordinary concerns transformed into a nationwide conviction that an invisible enemy was operating from the shadows. And while much of America focused on finding that enemy, few stopped to ask a different question. Who was shaping the fear itself? Chapter 3: The Shadow Network. As the Satanic Panic gradually faded from headlines, many assumed the controversy had reached its conclusion. It had not. Although numerous investigations failed to verify the existence of a vast underground satanic conspiracy, public fascination with hidden organizations continued to grow. The focus simply shifted from accusations of ritual abuse toward a broader question. How much power can secretive groups exert beyond public view? Throughout history, exclusive societies have occupied a unique place in the public imagination. Their private meetings, restricted membership, and symbolic traditions often create an aura of mystery that outsiders struggle to interpret. In the United States, organizations such as the Freemasons became frequent subjects of speculation. While historians generally describe these groups as fraternal institutions rather than covert political forces, their secrecy fueled countless theories. The pattern was familiar. Limited information created uncertainty. Uncertainty encouraged interpretation. Interpretation eventually produced suspicion. By the late 20th century, another factor accelerated this process dramatically: the rise of mass communication. Cable television, tabloid journalism, and eventually the internet allowed rumors to spread farther and faster than ever before. Fragments of information could be detached from their original context and reassembled into entirely new narratives. A symbol appearing in one setting became evidence in another. A private gathering became proof of hidden influence. An unusual coincidence evolved into a larger theory. One frequently cited example is the annual Bohemian Grove retreat in California. Because attendance is restricted and public access remains limited, the event has inspired decades of speculation involving political elites, business leaders, and influential figures. Yet researchers examining available evidence have consistently struggled to substantiate many of the more extraordinary claims associated with it. What emerged during this era was not merely a fear of occultism, it was a fear of invisibility itself. The concern that important decisions were being made behind closed doors. The suspicion that public events might conceal private agendas. Whether justified or exaggerated, such beliefs found fertile ground in a society increasingly skeptical of authority. And in that environment, the image of hidden networks never disappeared. It simply adapted to a new age, becoming more elusive, more complex, and far more difficult to separate from speculation. Chapter 4: The Legacy. The enduring significance of America's satanic cult scare lies not in what investigators discovered, but in what the episode revealed about society itself. For decades, researchers, journalists, legal scholars, and historians examined claims that once seemed capable of exposing a vast hidden threat. Yet as evidence accumulated, a different picture emerged. The phenomenon was less a story about an organized underground movement and more a case study in how fear, uncertainty, and cultural anxiety can shape public perception. This does not mean every concern was imaginary. Throughout history, fringe groups with unconventional beliefs have existed. Isolated criminal acts have occasionally been linked to individuals claiming occult inspiration. However, the sweeping conspiratorial structure, envisioned by many during the height of the panic, never materialized in a verifiable form. What remained was something arguably more fascinating: the realization that societies often create narratives to explain periods of rapid change. When familiar institutions appear unstable, when trust weakens, and when information becomes difficult to evaluate, people naturally search for patterns. In that search, coincidence can resemble intention, and suspicion can begin to substitute for evidence. The story of satanic cults in America, therefore, occupies a unique place in modern history. It stands at the intersection of belief, media influence, cultural transformation, and collective psychology. More importantly, it serves as a reminder that mysteries do not always originate in hidden chambers or secret gatherings. Sometimes they emerge from the fears, assumptions, and unanswered questions carried by ordinary people. Perhaps that is why the subject continues to captivate audiences decades later. The shadows never fully disappeared, the speculation never completely faded, and the debate never truly ended. Because beyond every rumor lies a deeper question: how do we distinguish genuine secrets from the stories we tell ourselves about them? As this chapter closes, the mystery remains unresolved, not because the evidence is hidden, but because human nature itself remains one of history's greatest enigmas. This has been another journey through the forgotten corridors of the past with Nexus of Secrets. And remember, the most powerful secret is not always the one concealed from the world, but the one people desperately want to believe.